Hello friends, it is Jessie. Today we are talking about goals, and specifically bad goals, because I realized that I have been setting some bad goals lately and I've realized why, and I thought I would hop on here and share some of that with you. So have you ever set a goal that you've been like super pumped about and you dived in? I should know this. You jumped in head first, only to lose motivation halfway through, and you're like, why? I was so excited, this felt like such the right path. Or have you ever set a goal that you're so excited for and you dive in and it gets really hard, but you know what, you power through it, but by the end you realize that it's not actually something that you wanted, and it maybe even makes your life worse somehow. I've been in both of those camps, and I hope that you haven't, but chances are you have, because we live in a goal-obsessed society, and that's just the reality of things. After doing a lot of hefty self-analysis, as well as researching the topic of goal setting and what smarter people than me have said about it, I've noticed a couple patterns, and I wanted to share these with you. So these are 3 things that I've noticed, at least, that can really impact for the worse the way that you set goals and the outcomes of those goals. So let's just dive into it. There's something at the bottom of my water. Gross. So one way that you might be setting a wrong goal is setting goals that you can't control. So my experience with this is that my background is in the marketing world, and for better or for worse, mostly worse, marketing is an industry that largely has bled into the rest of society. We live in a society obsessed with marketing ourselves, and a big part of marketing and business is metrics. We pay attention to followers, we pay attention to money, we pay attention to just whatever the numbers are. And it's really easy to start letting that bleed into your personal life. You might have goals like, I want to have this many followers on Instagram by this time, or I want to get accepted by these universities, or I want this many job offers. But the thing about these metrics is that a lot of them are out of your control. Sure, you can, take some actions toward them, but ultimately you can't decide how people are going to respond to you or react to the actions that you put out into the world. You can only control your actions. And when we have goals that are set on these external things that we can't control, it can lead to a lot of overwhelm or feeling poorly about ourselves when the goals don't work out, even if we did everything right. So instead, it's going to be much more useful to set goals that are based on what is within your realm of control. So for example, if you do have a goal of getting a certain number of followers, well, instead of setting that as I'm going to get this many followers, break it down to the action steps. I'm going to post 3 times per week on Instagram and spend an hour every Friday doing outreach. Or maybe you are one who tends to set goals like, I want to have 3 amazing job offers. Well, you can't really control that. You can't choose who is going to send you job offers, but you can control your own actions. So you can say, I'm going to send out 3 amazing applications every single day until I get a job that I like. And that's not to say that those external metrics are all bad. They can of course be an indicator of how things are going for you. But ultimately, I don't think they serve very well as goals. Goals should be something that you can hang your hat on, that you can say, I did this or I did not do this, yes or no, I met my goal or I didn't. It's within your realm of influence of actions that you can control. Capiche? All right, the second thing that I think trips up many goal setters is forgetting to add the small print. So by this I mean, when you think of a contract, you have the big exciting part up front, you get a car, but then you find all the small print beneath. You get a car, but it's also going to cost you this much money, and you're going to have to be, indebted to us for the rest of your life. What is the small print of your goals? It's one thing to say, I want to get 3 clients this quarter. Let's say you're a business owner, right? I want to get 3 clients this quarter. Well, that is wonderful. I think that getting clients is wonderful. However, you can get those 3 clients in many different ways, and they can be very different kinds of clients. You could get 3 clients who are all wannabe Silicon Valley bros who are like, hey, can you design my website for exposure? Or here's $100, can you design my website? By the way, that's really low for designing or developing a website. Yikes. So to avoid this phenomenon, I think it's helpful to think of your goal setting process as a wish you're making to a genie, but it's a super trickster genie who will find and exploit any loophole that you allow him to have. So instead of saying, I want 3 clients, you're going to add all the clauses, all the little stipulations. I want 3 clients. at least $1,000 per client. The client must be in my target market and they must be really nice on the sales call so that I know that they're gonna be a good person. Another common goal is weight loss. It is so easy to say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds, but realistically, you can lose 20 pounds in many different ways, and some of them are really, really not good for you. And so what are the stipulations? I want to lose 20 pounds, but also in a way that is healthy, that is going to be sustainable once I've lost the weight, and that doesn't require me to do workouts that I hate because life is too short for that. The bottom line here is that you are allowed to set your non-negotiables in your goal setting. In fact, you absolutely should. Set that line in the sand. What are all the different requirements that go along with that big goal? Having a good sense of that will make sure that you are meeting it in the right way. The third thing that I think trips up many goal setters is getting lost in the dream. And this is a big one here. So to illustrate what I mean, I want you to think for a minute, when you were a kid and somebody asked you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Or who do you want to be? And you're like, I want to be an astronaut or whatever it was. Why aren't you doing that now? And that isn't meant to be an attack. I think that a lot of times that's supposed to be an attack, like, why aren't you living your childhood dream? Usually it's for a good reason. I wanted to be a veterinarian, but as I grew up, I realized that vets get bitten a lot, and that wasn't something that I really wanted to go through. At another time, I wanted to be an actor, until I realized that most of the time, actors are doing a lot of auditioning, and I really hated being judged on my acting skills. As we grow up, we learn all of the sacrifices and hard things that come along with our dream goals, and a lot of times we realize that, oh, maybe it wasn't actually worth it that much to us to begin with, and that is perfectly fine. It is perfectly normal, and it is okay. But sometimes we forget to keep doing that. We forget to do it with our modern goals. We get so obsessed with the end goal that we are so excited for that we forget all of the hard things that are going to naturally come along with it. And so we set off on this goal feeling like we can just be driven by that outcome. And the moment that hard things come up, we just aren't prepared for it and we fall apart. Every single goal, large or small, comes with a sacrifice. Even the best things in the world, right? Olympians, Olympic athletes, typically don't have very strong social lives because they are constantly in the gym or the pool or whatever. High-powered career people who make a lot of money typically are working long hours and traveling a lot. Famous people typically have stalkers and deal with safety issues and oftentimes don't have very strong social connections or real friends. So before setting any goal, I think it's super, super valuable to slow down and ask yourself, what are the sacrifices going to be? Because there's definitely going to be hard stuff. So what is it going to be? And once you know that, you might find that, oh, those sacrifices might feel like sacrifices to other people, but they actually are perfectly fine with me, or they might even be good for me in some way. And if that is you, then wonderful. That is a good indicator that this might be a good goal for you to pursue. Other times you're going to find that it's not worth it. Or maybe it is worth it, but like it's good to be aware of it. And closely tied to this is this idea that it is so valuable to fall in love with the action of meeting that goal, not with the end result itself. I really like the way that Austin Kleon put it in his book, Keep Going. He just says, forget the noun, do the verb. Forget about the accolades or that future dream life that's gonna be so great when you have whatever that goal is after, and just focus on doing that daily work. Like that's what you're gonna be spending the majority of your time doing anyway. Why not make sure that it's something that you enjoy, that you love doing? And when you fall in love with the process of making a goal happen, like even if the goal doesn't work out, it's gonna be okay. So go in fully aware of what that work is going to be every day, not just obsessed with that starry-eyed dream. That's not reality. So these are just 3 things that have been on my mind. Realizing that these things have been recurring in my own goal setting process has definitely helped me get a better handle on it and set goals that are more like tools rather than getting so obsessed with the outcome. And I hope that they might be useful to you as well. So with that, of course, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Have your goals led you down the wrong path before? And what tips might you share to others who might be able to learn from your experiences, either meeting a goal or not meeting it? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll wrap with that. Till next time, guys, take care.